Welcome back, everyone, to the Leblock Cast, the podcast. We're talking about everything football and hockey related. Today, we're going to be talking about some football, some Justin Fields, the latest news. We'll do power rankings. We're going to do our shocks of the week, and we're going to end it off with questions about every team and game picks. I'm joined today by my gracious co-host every week, Riley Stanton.
I'm glad to be here.
Are you, though?
I don't know, man. It's kind of rough lately. Getting roasted every episode.
Deservingly so. I feel like we should mention that.
Welcome back in, Zach.
Hello. Glad to be here.
And back for the third time, Luke.
What's up, folks? Happy to be here.
Right. How was you guys' Sunday?
Pain. And getting fucked over. But pain.
Frantically checking all my fantasy leagues like a vicious person, and I threw in the towel at about 5:30, and then Derrick Henry went off and won me 2 of my leagues. So I was good after that.
Speaking of Derrick Henry, I was very happy in the first half, and then we don't want to talk about the second half.
Yeah, we're okay. We don't have to go past that.
So I had a good Sunday, but it was kind of tragic, and I'll tell you why. So I went to my cousin's house to watch football games. He has a huge setup, like 70-inch TV in his basement, like big couches everywhere, like just the best like setup to watch. So, and I brought queso because I love queso.
Who doesn't?
Basically, when we were on a commercial, I went, you know what, I'm gonna go warm up this queso and I'll bring it down for you guys. So I go upstairs, I warm up the queso. My cousin's stairs have a loose piece of rug near the bottom of the stairs.
Oh God.
So I have this really hot bowl of queso, and I'm walking down the stairs. All of a sudden, my foot catches the loose slip of carpet, and it just snaps like that.
Oh.
I fall. I try to save the cheese dip, but it hits the floor, and just boom, there's queso all over this carpet, like everywhere. And all of a sudden,
Awesome.
oh fuck, my leg. Oh. And then
that's the biggest waste of queso.
Like, what happened? Oh, I fell.
Poor queso.
And then they turn on the lights back there, and there's just queso like in the carpet, on the walls, on the ceiling, like it's everywhere. But I got no queso on my jersey at all, which was a win. But I got it all over my jeans. Yeah,
no apple bottom jeans.
I ended up spraining my ankle.
Tough evening for the kid.
The queso came out mostly. So yeah,
James is making his cousin's gonna have to hire like a full carpet cleaning crew.
Oh no, I got that steam cleaner hookup,
Okay.
Yeah.
Get well soon, James.
I originally told you guys I did it celebrating the winning of the Saints. I did not. I just fell and I did queso incident everywhere.
But the celebrating sounds like a more cool.
The great queso incident.
Yeah. And then we walked to my other cousin's place, and I was just getting ragged on it all throughout dinner. Like, there's queso on my wall. Like, I said I was sorry. All right.
Queso dip 1, James 0.
Listen, I still ate that queso dip. It was good. It was good queso. Let's go with some big news today. I thought it was Justin Fields is going to start against Cleveland Browns. Now, Fields is getting his first start against a really tough Cleveland defense.
The team that's going to go 16-1, Cleveland Browns.
Like, for your first start against the Cleveland Browns, that's a little bit of a tough draw.
Yeah, but it's better than going against Aaron Donald.
I don't know. Myles Garrett's pretty fucking scary too.
I think, well, first off, Fields can't do any worse than the other 2 rookie quarterbacks, T-Law and Zach Wilson. So he can't do any worse. And I think that it's going to be a good test it's going to be a good, like, welcome to the NFL moment, kid. And going to just hit him real quick that, hey, this isn't college anymore. No. Like, you're in the big leagues now, mofo. Like, you're in this. And
who you calling
hopefully I'm calling Fields a mofo.
Mofo.
It's also a fun word to say, but that's besides the point.
We know.
So that's my take on it. What do you guys think?
That Bear. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
All right. That Bears O-line is terrible. Like, it's it's not as bad as like the Bengals, but it's not good whatsoever. And that Cleveland front seven is pretty scary. Fields has the benefit of a doubt. He is a scrambler. He can scramble, but
he could be doing it a lot.
Yeah, I just think it's a really tough draw for a rookie like Fields. And Fields has been used as a gadget for the past 2 games. So I think he will do not good, but I think he'll be an average. Like I think he'll throw for maybe 200 yards. That's my guess. And I think he'll have at least 50 rushing yards. That is my prediction.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty accurate stat line.
Zach?
So what I'd say about Fields is he looked good in preseason. He looked like one of the better rookie quarterbacks in preseason. Obviously, it was him and Zach Wilson, and we've seen how Zach Wilson looks in the NFL when he's playing. It hasn't been pretty. But Fields has shown that he's an excellent scrambler. Probably he runs like 4.4. He's one of the fastest quarterbacks in the league immediately. He's one of the best athletes in the league immediately. He jumps into that, right? But he had some really strange plays last week. Like he made some strange reads. He struggled process his reads like we expected, and we should expect that to get better as he gets more involved in the offense and gets more used to an NFL offense. But I think he'll struggle because this is a hard secondary to play. It's a good, well-coached team, well-drilled, and it's you're playing Myles Garrett, as Luke said.
And Jadeveon Clowney as well. And like you go up against Denzel Ward, who can basically erase Allen Robinson off the field.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's going to be a real tough matchup, and we'll have to see how he does.
It's going to be a very challenging first test for him, to say the least.
Although Luke kind of hopes he struggles because the Bears.
I'm indifferent on Fields, but yeah, I hate the Bears.
We hate the Bears. Luke hates the Bears.
Yeah. So my cousin's a huge Bears fan, so he's excited for Fields, but I don't know. Yeah. So he wanted a QB that wasn't named Mitch Trubisky in the draft. So yeah, I think he's excited. I think he'll do decently well. I don't think he'll like if he goes off, then maybe he's the real deal. I thought Fields was the second best QB coming out of this draft.
I did too.
Watch how we're all wrong, and the Texans rookie is going to pop off because the Tyrod Taylor effect.
Davis
he will. Dude, he's going to go for 400. He's playing a terrible
who does he
team.
have to pass to?
Brandon Cooks.
Oh, yeah. What about who's his wide receiver too? Nico Collins, who's out for 3 weeks.
They've got that one guy with the face.
They have the guy that's supposed to break out this year, Philip Lindsay.
Lindsay looked good last week.
He's an elite running back. Isn't he?
I'm not going to live that down, will I?
Isn't he their third string?
I'm not going to live that down, will I? I'm not going to live that down.
No.
Like 10 years from now, it'll still be making jokes about it?
Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm good that I know that. Anyways, getting back on track.
Anyway, I think that's all we have to say about Fields. I mean, that's all we got to say about Fields. Yeah. So we're gonna go to our next segment, which is Shock of the Week. We do this every single week. We've had football, and by random draw, it's gonna be me, Luke, Zach, Riley.
Okay, I got the last one. So
my shock of the week is what happened to the Saints?
Wow, that's pretty on par for the course there, huh?
I was
attacked by a Panther.
I know, like
multiple times.
That defense shut that whole Saints offense down. Like Kamara, I think only had like 15 yards of total offense.
Yeah, I mean it was a complete flip, like complete 180 from where they were against Green Bay the previous week.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yep, it was a shock.
And it's weird to see because we've lost to the Saints. I think it was like 6 out of the past 8 games against them. So it was weird because every single time when they scored that touchdown in the fourth quarter, I'm like, oh, we're gonna blow this. We're gonna find a way to fuck it up. We didn't, and I was impressed with the win because that's the Saints are a quality opponent still, and I think that's a quality win.
Yeah, take pride in that because you dominated a division opponent. That's very rare.
It's a divisional game, which is going to matter a lot down the road. So
yeah,
that is big, especially if the Panthers can keep up their current track.
Yeah.
Well, my shock, it's not the biggest shock, but I mean, it is. I'm going to go with Derek Carr. just because there's people here that are fans of him, obviously, but he currently leads the league in passing yards, and it's actually not close. He's been
800.
very good, very decisive. I mean, he was very big on Waller game one. That's no secret against Baltimore, but like he really didn't utilize Waller that much. And of course, a lot of that is due to coverage. But he found Henry Ruggs on a gorgeous pass. Obviously, that was the 60, 70-yard pass.
Yeah.
He played a great game. I think the play calling with the Raiders has been good. And I'm sorry, Riley, I know you hate every moment of this, but I like the Raiders, man. I like the Raiders. I like Derek Carr, especially. I mean, he has what? It's like 817 passing yards. And I think the next closest is Kyler, who's in the 600s. So, I mean, that's a lot, man. That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, like I mean, Carr. Like I like Derek Carr. I think he's a little underrated of a QB. I don't think he was a great QB coming into this year, but still, like for him to lead the league in passing yards and like Luke, like you said, it's not even close. Like that's against two quality opponents. That's Baltimore and the Steelers, who have great.
Yeah, those are really good teams and really good defenses, especially, and they posted a good chunk of points each game.
Yeah. Well, you guys have heard me talk about Derek Carr over the offseason. I did say that he was better than Herbert, and Riley yelled at me for it. And obviously, the take can still age poorly. We're only 2 weeks in.
It's still
But
cap.
what we've seen from Derek Carr is that he has
Still
a worse
cap.
O-line this year. He has almost a worse receiving core this year, and he has better stats. He looks
he has
fantastic.
infinitely better
He
stats.
can make every throw on the field. We've seen that. He's just really good. I really like that shot, Luke. I really do.
Thank you.
Now to our resident Raider hater. Riley, you got anything to say about this?
Derek Carr has played really well, but I'm not buying into it. Last year we were saying the same thing about the Raiders, right? We were. Last year we were saying the exact same thing. Like, are they a playoff contender? They're looking good. Derek Carr's playing great. And they fell off a mountain. They did.
And it could certainly go off the rails, and I don't deny that at all. But I mean, watching the games, because I've watched both their games so far, and it seems like they're just really they're just hitting on all levels. Like Max Crosby is playing very well.
He's a dog.
I love
Yeah,
it.
Max Crosby, like he was on fire against Baltimore. Like he was the most noticeable guy on the field, and that's even considering how much Waller did. I think their play calling's been great. I think Gruden's done a great job. They had really weird, like they went for a kick and then took it away, but that was an OT, and that's the game they still won. But either way, I mean, I think they've been hitting on all levels. And don't get me wrong, it could fall off the rails because it has before. It definitely has. But I'm gonna ride the train for now. I like them.
I'm not sold. And
That's fair.
And last year they beat the Chiefs, and that was their Super Bowl. That was their Super Bowl last year when they beat the Chiefs, and they lost. They blew it. And I look at the Raiders team, and I don't see anything that really stands out to me aside from their tight end, and I do like Edwards and Ruggs. Their offense is good, but their defense is lacking severely. Abraham is not as good as he was projected to be, and he was a first-round pick. And I know Zach's giving me that look, but I don't know. Like I look at this Raiders team, and they have a lot of depth on the edge. I'll give them that, but I'm just not sold.
You know what they have, Riley? An elite defensive coordinator.
They did. Dude, I've liked their defense.
So do the Chargers, though. So the Chargers, man, like you're sleeping on us. But anyways, back to my shock, because I think I want to wrap this up. So my shock is.
It's fine. We can keep going.
Do you want me to keep going?
You can keep going if you want. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so what I was gonna say is the Raiders have a good play caller in Gus Bradley, but the cover 3 system, it worked against Lamar, but he statistically has struggled against cover 3. And I have it up. I can find it. I have a picture of it saved somewhere. But I don't know. Like Gus Bradley's system has been exposed by the Chiefs multiple times, by the Broncos multiple times, and it's not a system. I don't know. I'm just not sold. I'm not sold. And they still got to play the Cleveland Browns because this is the year we play the AFC North. And they still got to face some other quality opponents too.
They also do face the Giants, the Bengals. They have Miami next week, who shattered against the Bills. So I mean, they have a relatively favorable schedule, having already being 2-0
Yeah.
against
Again.
good ass opponents.
Again, this is the Raiders we're talking about, and they almost blew away their win versus the Ravens. So it's not. Let's pump the brakes a little here, Chief.
But they didn't, and those like one possession games are the most important games to win in football. If you can win those one possession games,
Oh,
you're
I'm agreeing. I'm a Chargers fan. I know how much those one possession games mean a lot, but it's just I'm not sold yet. And because I think every year the NFL community has way too early freakouts and predictions and
the media
like
figures out after 2 weeks. Yeah,
there's still 15 more games. There's still 15 more games, and that could go. Like they could either win those 15 or win 10 of those 15 or whatever. But it can go both ways. There's still a lot of season left. So for that, I'm not sold. But they are off to a good start, and I'll give them that. And actually,
I'll talk more about this, but we're gonna move on. So, Zach, your shock?
My shock, and I see what Riley's wearing, and he'll like it. Is the Eagles? Their defense has impressed me a lot. The way they played the Niners, the way they played Atlanta. Atlanta are a solid offensive team. We saw them do really well against the Bucs for a bit. Obviously, they struggled at points in that game, but Atlanta looked good offensively against the Bucs, and the Niners looked good offensively against the Lions, admittedly, which aren't a very good defense, but they looked solid there. Look,
I know. I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah, the Niners admittedly have looked did look good offensively, and they got destroyed, stopped by the Eagles there. They only got 17 points on the board, which you don't see much. If the Eagles can put together some offense, I think they'll continue to shock a lot of people.
And they did lose Brandon Graham to an injury. I forget what it was, but he is done for the year, and that is a major
Achilles.
loss.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, but they still have depth along the edge. They have Josh Sweat, and they've got Derek Barnett. But Derek Barnett was a first-round pick, so maybe he can, in a full-time role, do better. And Alex Singleton, their middle linebacker, CFL player, it was an amazing CFL player, but he's made tremendous leaps forward and is playing really well. And this Eagles team's looking really solid.
Yeah.
And the Eagles almost won that game. If you watch the fourth quarter, they almost came back, which once again, the Niners almost blew another game.
Yeah. 49ers you gotta figure that out, man.
And the 49ers, their defense, I think is a tad bit overrated, but it's still a good defense when healthy.
Oh, it's
exactly.
It definitely took a hit with the can never pronounce his name. Verrett, I think is
Verrett?
the one.
Verrett.
Yeah. With him going down, but it's still solid.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Niners, they've been getting really good production out of their corner, Lemonnier or whatever. I'm obviously butchered it, but he was PFF's third highest graded rookie corner, next to Asante Samuel and JC Horn. But they've been getting good production out of that late round pick, and it's been paying off.
Who's the asshole Samuel guy? I've never heard of him.
Oh, and I've never talked about him. Never.
Never. No, let's.
Totally not one of my favorite players on the Chargers. Who have no idea. The guy's a bum. But yeah, the Niners need to figure this stuff out. But the Eagles have broken pretty solid, and they weren't out against that game. And even if Jalen Hurts does struggle, they still have Gardner Minshew, who is a starting capable quarterback.
He's
I love
awesome.
Minshew. I love Minshew. Those jorts. But yeah, the Eagles have turned some heads.
All right.
And
Riley, sorry to interrupt, but move on to your shock of the week.
Yeah. My shock of the week, I'm gonna go with how well Kyler Murray performed. Dude just torched that Vikings defense. And that Cardinals O-line doesn't really, aside from their center that they got, it's not really good. There's no real standout names. There's, and Kyler Murray just torched and pillaged the Vikings. And it looked incredible. Yes, they only won by a point, but the way he played was incredible. And if you have him in fantasy, good on you. But this isn't just fantasy. He played really well. And
MVP.
Yeah.
No MVP shouts.
To be fair, the Vikings secondary is straight ass besides Harris Smith.
Remember when you guys yelled at me for saying the Vikings would be bad this year? Do you guys remember that?
I didn't see it. This is before I made predictions. The corners, I didn't realize, they'd released all their starting corners from last year.
But they got Patrick Peterson.
I thought Pat Pete had more juice than he's shown.
Yeah.
That was what I misjudged.
Like the Vikings secondary is bad, and the Cardinals have receivers that go deep. So I'm not surprised
D-Hop,
whatsoever
Kirk,
that Kyler Murray.
Hezbollah.
Rondale Moore.
I'm more surprised that the Vikings defense could hang with Kyler Murray. That's what I'm more surprised at.
Yeah.
Well,
Sure.
I was also impressed with the Cardinals' O-line and how they performed because the Vikings got a pretty good D-line. Michael Pierce, Danielle Hunter.
Yeah. People
Just
underrate how much of a difference a guy like Rodney Hudson makes to a defense, to an offensive line. He's a
100%.
serious leader. He's a serious leader, and he knows what he's doing.
He's been in the league so much, and he helps with identify blitzes, which it takes so much off Kyler, and Kyler can just ball, and like we've seen. But I'm just impressed with the Cardinals and their team to beat so far. Again, I'm the one guilty doing of the overreaction in week 2, and I'm doing that with the Cardinals here, obviously.
Only
But
overreaction when it's a team I don't like.
I just
That's right.
admitted I'm guilty of doing it as well. Everybody does it. It happens in the NFL community every year.
I never do it. Never.
Never.
Can't do
Never.
it.
No.
I can't.
I'm
All
totally
right,
not
what's
chanting
next?
Sante defense rookie of the year after week 2.
All right. Honorable mention. I'm gonna go with the Titans coming back on Seattle. I'm just going. That's my honorable mention.
You didn't have to. James, you didn't have to.
I'm gonna say that as number 1. All right.
I'm shocked
next
to hear
week-
nobody go with Bills Miami.
I mean, Tua got injured, so I'm not too surprised.
Especially
Tua
those-
got
Really got
injured,
no
but
points, though.
0 points on the board and 35 against that defense.
Or it was a shock at how much the Chargers got screwed over by the refs, but
All
we're
right.
not
All
going
right.
to go deep
Listen.
into that.
You
No,
mentioned
you're
one
fine.
more ref comment. I'm muting you for 5 minutes.
Whoa, 5. Oh,
Say something. Say something. He's not gonna do it. Call his bluff. Call his bluff.
The refs.
Yeah, he did it.
All right. I'll
Take that, Riley. What are you gonna say to me? What are
5
you gonna
minutes.
say to me?
All right. Yeah, let's go. Ask to unmute. All right. Next, we're gonna move on to our power rankings.
Fuck you, James.
Okay, listen. I said I would do it. You did it.
Also, why do I listen to you,
What were you
Luke?
thinking?
Let's move on to our power rankings.
All right.
Yes.
So, last week we did this, and we had some very good controversy. We had some a good mix of like that's shocking and that's right. So we had like a half and half. This week we got Luke to join in on the power rankings, which he's going to do from now on. So now we have 4 people instead of 3 people, so it might be a little easier.
Mhm.
So I do this for a consensus. So it's basically I take what everyone says. I give each position has a certain amount of points, and I do the points. So yeah. So it's basically like a not a consensus, but like a majority. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah. So the honorable mentions this week are Denver and Tennessee.
Denver didn't make the cut.
Denver did not make the
They
cut.
didn't make the
Yeah.
cut.
So here's the thing.
Thank you, Denver.
I had Denver, I think, at 10 on mine.
I think I had them at like 7.
I didn't
Yes.
have Denver.
I'm gonna say this right now. They played the Giants and they played the Jags. 2 teams
And-
who
Yeah, they have the Jets next. No.
yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They have a cupcake start.
Yeah,
I
let's
bet.
let's hold off on Denver. All right.
No, my take's right. My take's already right. You can't disagree.
Even with Bradley Chubb being injured, though?
Yeah, Bradley Chubb hurt.
It's
I
the
think a bit,
Jets,
but
my guy.
No,
Bradley
but
Chubb
Zach's
hurt,
take
like,
of going to the playoffs, with Bradley Chubb being injured,
they'll
that's a
still make the
major blow.
playoffs, I think.
It's still a
Bradley
major
Chubb's
blow.
only out for a few weeks, so he'll be back this season.
And Tennessee as our honorable mention number 2. Any quarrel with that or no?
I'm cool with it.
I think next week they'll probably be in it because I think now the offense is starting to click.
All right.
Yeah.
After they
I
torched a good
I love the
defense.
Titans, and I didn't even have them there. So
Just hoping the Seahawks are in top 10.
nope.
Not mine.
God.
At number 10, moving up from unranked, we have the Baltimore Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I will be honest, I didn't have the Baltimore Ravens in my top 10. I
I
think
had them
I think they got honestly, I think they got a really like Owa made a good play on the ball, but Kansas City, I just think they got really they lucked out against KC this time. And
Yeah, but
I think there's
Yeah, that's all
so
it takes,
many,
though.
I just think there's so many like not problems, but like there's some issues with the team that need to be corrected before I am going to give them some respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everett, he held Tyreek Hill to what? Like, what is Tyreek Hill's stat line? Like, didn't he only have?
It was like 4 receptions.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
It was
he
grossly low.
dominated Tyreek Hill, and that's impressive. And Owa, just what he did or away, I don't know how you pronounce it, but he played incredible. And yeah, like those guys like stepping up is what you need. And if they continue to step up, the Ravens are still going to be a force.
Yeah. One of the catches that Tyreek got too were purely manufactured by Andy Reid. It was like a 5-yard catch.
Yeah.
And it
Our
was just
schemes-
Tyreek in motion, easy catch, and then hopefully he does something after because they couldn't get him on the ball.
Like Jalen's, like Adams' touchdown against Jalen in the playoffs this past year.
Mm-hmm.
Just in motion to set it up. Yeah. Corner couldn't really do anything. Yeah. So I think if they continue to step up, they will be a force, and a big win over the Chiefs is what's needed. And Lamar's kind of looking pretty good.
We absolutely have to mention what Lamar's done with nothing in this rushing attack.
Yeah.
The amount of rushing yards that he got for this Ravens team is unbelievable, considering he's missing a star left tackle. He doesn't have any running backs to keep the defense honest, and they're still getting yards and yards and yards and yards. It shows, one, how good that scheme is for running, and two, how much of an impact Lamar Jackson makes in the running game. Like it's almost unquantifiable how much of an impact he makes.
Good word choice.
That was a big word, yeah.
Lamar's done a great job with his receivers. Like his passing has improved from
Mhm.
years. And I think he looked pretty good passing the ball on Sunday Night Football.
Indeed.
I think he looked better. He's just so goddamn inconsistent, man.
As a passer, yeah.
Oh, he's so inconsistent passing. But no, he's a good running back.
And quarterback.
Yeah, he can run.
Raven fans are crying.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry, Shep. Okay, so what is the other team, James?
Number 9, moving up from unranked, we have the Carolina Panthers. Now
I didn't have them, dog.
I didn't have them.
Weird.
I had them.
They're
my 10th spot. I think
What the
2
fuck were they
dominating
for
wins.
James if they were 9. James, would you have the Panthers?
I had them at 6.
The Panthers?
Yes.
And the Broncos didn't make it?
It was literally a tie between Panthers and Ravens, and I flipped a coin.
Cat.
The Carolina Panthers at 9, who the defense has looked really good. The offense still has some questions, and I think they got a quality win, like I was mentioning earlier, against the Saints. And I don't think we have much to talk about here.
When you can dominate in a division opponent like you did, that's something to write home about. So, valid point.
They deserve to be up there. 9 wouldn't be my pick, but I'm not gonna heckle over it.
So he gets a heckle pass, and I don't?
We did heckle him for a good minute there.
Oh, right. Not just
Yeah,
an entire
we
episode of
did.
heckling. Okay.
Well, we didn't give a team 15 games.
That raises very good points.
Yes.
Who invited you, Zach?
No, I'm going to end this off because I want to talk a little bit more because, like,
Yeah.
I think just like everything looks like it's gone better. The system looks like players have bought into the system, especially defensively. Because defensively last year we were terrible against the run. We were one of the worst teams against the run last year, and the front 7 is looking very scary. And we, like I said, we held Kamara under 15 yards, which is good, and we held Jameis under 100 yards until I think the 4th quarter.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't
The
really
pressure
famous
that
Jameis.
Hassan Reddick, the pressure that Hassan Reddick and Burns gets is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And with Derek Brown, I think his name is,
Yeah, Derek Brown.
as an anchor on that D line, to absorb the double teams, giving Burns, like he's so good. His spin move is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And he's so fast too, so you have to worry about him going on the outside. So he's almost unblockable at times.
Yeah, even like lower name guys like Yetur Gross Matos and Morgan Fox are getting in on the action.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know Yetur got injured, but like Morgan Fox came in when he got injured and stepped right into the role and looked really good.
Fox has looked really good, yeah. And Burns, Zach, you made like this comparison, looks like a younger Von Miller with how fast his get off is. You know, like that speed he has.
Like the third fastest get off in the league for the past 2 weeks. So,
and you know how Von always wins with speed. So
yeah.
For the most part.
Burns is only like 23 too, and he's been in the league forever. Like
2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. It feels like he entered the league really young, and I think people forget that.
Yeah, he's only like 23, I think. Yeah, 23.
Yeah.
Same with Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
Anyways,
moving
getting
on,
back on track.
At our 8th spot, staying there, we have the 49ers.
I think they'll end up going down.
That kind of shocked me that the Niners actually were in the top 10.
Well, they're in the top 10 practically almost by default because they're 2-0, and they on paper they have a very good team, but I think we can all agree here that they're going to drop. They
will. Jimmy Garoppolo, he didn't look good against the Eagles. He got the win. He got 2 touchdowns, I think, but he still didn't look very good.
One of his touchdowns was on a controversial delay of game call, though.
Yeah, exactly. I think the team can only go down, especially with the loss of Jason Verrett.
Yeah, they've got Jason Verrett out, and all their running backs are now hurt.
Yeah, like my brother's a Niners fan. He told me all the running backs that are out. I'm like, that starts with Green Bay's biggest weakness next week is run defense, and you have no running backs to run the ball. No. Even Juice got
Trey Lance.
They brought in an XFL really good player though, like a few years ago. I think he was on the Ravens practice squad or a team like that.
Could always call Cam Newton. I think he'll run for you.
He'll be a starter. He'll be a starter.
Yo, if he was a running back, like he's like 250, 6'5".
No, he's more of a fullback. I think.
I mean, Derrick Henry does it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And did it really well against a team of green and blue.
That is true.
Anyways, carrying on.
Our number 7 going up from honorable mention, we have the Buffalo Bills.
Mm-hmm.
That shutout speaks for itself. I don't think I'll ever vote against the Bills over the Dolphins.
Yeah, that was the worst call I've ever heard in
my
my
I can't believe
life.
I had to argue with you two about it because you guys both took Miami.
That was mind blowing. I listened to the podcast and I was like, they really both went Dolphins. Like it's not even gonna be close.
Well, I like the Dolphins defense, and
listen, that's fantastic.
They have a good defense.
But
it's their offense.
They got.
And the Dolphins defense is still pretty, like, it's good. Like, it's not.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. And the craziest part is like that really wasn't even a good game from Josh Allen.
No, he was underwhelming.
It was not. It was not a good game from Josh Allen by any merit. He barely found. I mean, he threw a lot, essentially, but like they had a really, really good run from Singletary. Zach Moss turned it on. And no, I mean, I watched a lot of that game. It was not a great performance from Josh Allen at all.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I think if Tua was in this game, it would have been a little different, but I think the outcome would have stayed the same.
Yeah, crunched
5-7.
Next one.
Moving up from an honorable mention, we have at number 6, the Cleveland Browns.
I've had the last 3 spot on. I'm just saying.
I think
kind of going off for you, Luke.
I know the Browns struggled early against the Texans, and then when Tyra went down, the game kind of opened up for them. But I think they played pretty well coming off of that loss to Kansas City that I think they could have won.
They could have. I mean, they were very good against Kansas City. They definitely held their own. I think that was really.
They had a muff punt, and it ruined the game.
I'm telling you guys, it's gonna happen.
Listen, I have them as my Super Bowl champions, but I mean, they're unfortunately in an interesting situation because Landry just went on IR. Beckham still hasn't came back, and I'm pretty sure something happened with Peoples-Jones. I mean, if he comes back, then they're in a good spot. I mean, who do they play? They play the Jet. No, they play the Bears. We
Yeah.
already talked about that. I mean, they're in a good spot, but they also, if Beckham comes back, they're good. They're fine. But that's my only worry on them. But either way, they're so good. And Baker
Beckham-
Mayfield, very, very large credit to him to pop out his shoulder, pop it back in, go back in, and be a beast.
It's like Matthew Stafford level. Like I
It was that was tough as shit.
Indeed.
All right. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
The Browns, everyone knows, had a very solid team. I think once OBJ's fully healthy, I think this week he'll probably struggle a bit because a torn ACL is a tough injury to come back from. We saw Cortland Sutton struggle week 1 because he just came back from it and he wasn't used to making the cuts. And the following week, he gets 150 yards. So in 2 weeks, I think Odell Beckham's going to be a serious part of this offense. And I think that team can only get better too.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to see how the dynamic works between Beckham and Mayfield because obviously it wasn't very strong last year in their first year, but I think it's gonna be good.
Absolutely.
Right. At number 5, moving up from unranked, we have the Las Vegas Raiders.
Mm-mm.
I had them at 5.
Two quality wins, and yeah, I think they deserve that spot. They deserve the respect.
I don't think I
Google,
even
play
have
the
them in
sound
my
of
top 10.
silence.
I don't think I even had them in my top 10. I won't lie to you.
I had them in my top 10, followed by a bunch of vomiting emojis.
We all had the Raiders at 5 except for Zach.
Yeah.
Not as high as us. I thought you liked the Raiders.
I like
I
Derek Carr.
thought you loved them, Zach. I thought you were
Yeah.
I thought you were a Raiders fan.
No, I
How
like
much you been
Derek
hyping them
Carr.
up?
I like Carr.
He's
But
a Raiders
I
fan.
remember what happened last year, and
The
I
question-
can
the
see
question is,
that
can the
happening
Raiders-
again. I mean,
Yeah.
This is a power rankings though, not a what happened last year rankings.
yeah, but I was also looking at watching some of the games, and that Pittsburgh game, Big Ben looked bad.
Certainly.
We'll get to that in our questions for every team, but I think the Raiders. I don't think they're for real, but I think they deserve the 5 spot this week.
I think they at least deserve the respect for now. I could very well see them going down, but I think they've played 2 very good games of football. Like just at a standstill of how they've played. It doesn't matter if Big Ben sucked and they almost lost against the Ravens. I think they have played just generally a good game of football.
Any more
right.
on the Raiders, or we can move on?
We can move on.
Number 4, staying at the same spot they were last week, we had the Los Angeles Rams. Now,
Stafford, that defense, is that defense. I mean,
yeah, I had the Rams higher than 4, but all you had them, it looks like, at 4 or lower.
I had them at 4. No, I mean the Rams are good. I mean they played a really good tough game against the Colts. In truth, I think that game was probably a lot closer than people would care to admit. If someone would learn that Cooper Kupp is now Stafford's favorite target, I think a lot of games would go differently because he just spams Cooper Kupp. But still, the Rams are the Rams, and they're very good on both sides of the ball, and they're going to continue to be probably top 5 all year.
I have Cooper Kupp in I think all my leagues.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I had the Rams higher because I think that close game really proved that they can hang, even against a weaker opponent. In the I think they can still hang and get the tough win. Yeah, I think the Rams are for real. I think they're my choice goes to go for the NFC.
I'm not going to debate that. It's solid.
Right.
That's all I guess.
At number 3, going down 2 spots, we have Kansas City.
It's fair. Unfortunately, I mean, they're still good. They're still very good, but
They're going to go
the
back
other
up
2
after.
teams they'll be back up. They'll be 1 or 2.
Yeah,
but
they're
the
going
other
to
2
dominate the
teams-
Chargers. So
The
All
other 2 teams
security.
just make sense.
they're going to dominate the Chargers.
I dropped
Gonna
them a bit,
happen.
probably lower than most people had them, just because that defense
The
didn't look
defense
good.
is bad.
It looked
Other
really bad,
than-
and I know Mahomes
I mean, they
can
had
win any shootout
2
on any given day. Mahomes
mean-
he's the best quarterback in the league, obviously. So any given day, he'll do stuff, right? But that defense is gonna hurt them in the long run, and even right now, we saw it hurt them. Like this week,
Yeah, I mean, they even had
Um,
a pick six against. I mean, early on a bad pass from Lamar, and Lamar still trampled them late on.
exactly.
So that defense is an issue. I mean, it has Tyrann Matthew and L'Jarius Sneed is not bad, but other than that, it's not it.
Yeah.
And Chris
Forgot about-
Jones, but
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
that's-
that those two guys are the only ones that matter right now. Chris Jones was not fantastic.
No, he struggled
Yeah.
last week.
well, he did play defensive end to be fair, and he's a D tackle, and there is a lot more like responsibilities, like just holding your gap and just different responsibilities.
I'd
that he
love to
wasn't used to.
continue, but we're kind of low on time. So you gotta
Yeah,
finish.
I was gonna.
Number 2 going up 1, and the majority of us had them here, the Arizona Cardinals, except for Riley.
I had them at 2, yeah.
Where'd I have them?
3.
Oh,
They were at 3 last week, and I really do like the Cardinals. I really
I
do.
do too.
Cardinals, I like their entire team. I think everyone's really coming to their own already as is. I mean, they have elite guys on both sides of the ball. Their run stop is incredible. Their secondary is really solid and really showing up. And Kyler Murray is just on a different level right now.
Rondale Moore's only going to get better too. That's
Yeah,
a
Rondale.
big thing.
The fact that they can come in and Rondale Moore is already as good as he is with the competition of DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, he's gonna be sick.
The receivers are good. The defense is good. I think it's the Cardinals. I'm not saying they can win the division because it's a tough division, but they're for real.
I had them at 13-4 in the predictions, and I got laughed at by Zach. I just want to put that out there.
I got laughed at by all you guys, so just
And-
want to put that out there.
You
And
had
it-
them going with 15 games on the season.
Yes, you had them. You know what? Nah, I'm good.
They skipped 2 games. All right, we don't want to hear it.
All right, and at number 1, I think there'll be no conversation here. Up 1,
Yeah,
we have the Tampa Bay
Yeah.
Buccaneers.
I had
Yeah.
them at 1.
I'm the
last
only
week.
person who didn't have them at 1.
What?
Who'd you have at 1? The Chiefs?
Had the Rams. I like what they did, but the Bucks. I just want to say this. I want to make an argument for not number 1, but they are number 1. Is that they kind of let Atlanta almost come back into the game?
Yeah, but they
Yeah, I
had,
mean, it was
only
like
argument.
a 48-27 finish, but yeah, sure.
no, they did though. They put the foot off the gas, and
Yeah.
it was like it was 28-24 or something like that. And then the Bucks were like, okay, they're back in the game.
Yeah, I do want to
But
mention though,
we just fucked
Yeah.
with them, and then they were gone.
the Bucks do play the Rams this week.
Yeah, it's
Ooh.
going to be a great game.
That's gonna be a
That's gonna be
great
a good
game.
Indeed.
One team that I want to make note real quick. I know we're low on time.
Yeah.
That I think is going to be in the top 10, at least, especially for me next week, is the Cowboys. Sorry, Riley. I'm sorry, but they played a good game against the Chargers. They probably should have lost it in all technicality, but they also played a very
Say
good
it,
game
Riley.
against the
Say it.
Bucs.
Watch what happens.
They played a very good game.
Fuck you, Luke,
Week 1 against
for
the
putting me
Bucs,
into this
and
position.
Dak wasn't even 100% at that point. So I think Dallas is going to make some noise,
Yeah,
and I don't.
someone
like
who's
Dallas.
never going to be on my top 10 are the Chargers. Herbert
Facts.
sucks. Herbert sucks.
Dog shit.
All right, we're gonna move on.
Joey Bosa can't put pressure on.
All right, well, we're gonna move on. Questions. This is a new segment. We're gonna do this segment every like 4 weeks because I think it could be like a good. And then we have the last. I think we do like after week 2, after week 6,
Mhm.
after week 10, after week 14, and then after week 18, and when the season's over.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have we each picked a division. We each have our own team's division, and we each volunteered to take another division.
Yeah, I didn't
So-
really volunteer. I just got pigeonholed, but you know.
You got to sign.
You gotta- So since we're low on time, what we're gonna do is we're gonna say the question, and then we're gonna have like maybe like 2 or 3 comments, and then we're gonna move on because we're low on time. I'm sorry.
Probably work the
Mhm.
best just for each person to say what their question is and then what their answer is.
All right.
that works.
Yeah,
So who wants to start?
Yeah, we'll do that actually. All right. We're gonna start with the ASC, and I usually go north, east, south, west. That's how I
Okay.
roll. And I have the AFC North. So,
Yeah.
at the Browns, now I wrote some of these aren't questions. I just wrote down what I thought. Browns, I have who at wide receiver? Question mark. With OBJ coming back maybe this week, who's that wide receiver number 2 and 3? Who's going to step up?
Is People Jones still playing?
Yeah.
Do we know? Okay.
Yeah, like who's gonna step up and take the wide receiver 2 and 3 roles? That's just my question.
Good question.
And no one has an answer.
Well, I don't know the Browns depth chart.
I don't either.
Donovan
I
Peoples-Jones and Richard Higgins, and maybe Anthony Schwartz. Anthony
Or maybe
Schwartz
one of
is
their
a
tight
big
ends.
edge guy.
They don't have
Maybe their
much
tight
there.
ends
Good
step
thing
up.
they have Nicholas Jamal Chubb.
Yeah, that's his name. That's his name.
Fucking weirdo.
Bengals O-line regret drafting Sewell.
No, they regret drafting Chase, but yeah, they probably
Chase was good.
should have. Chase is good. Chase is very good, but they got
Burrow
wrecked.
had 3 picks, and
Yeah,
he
got
quite a bit.
3 picks on 3 straight attempts.
Yeah.
All 3 being heavily pressured. You probably like Sewell as them. I like Sewell.
Yeah, I would have
I like
taken
Sewell
Sewell
too.
if I were them too, but
No
I think-
default to Chase in truth. Like I like him. I think he's been really good for them. And I think he's really been wide receiver 1 in technicality. I mean, Higgins was good, but Higgins also fucked them a little bit.
yeah.
No, I mean he's been good. No default to Chase at all. But it just stings to not have that superstar left tackle.
Riley, anything?
They should have taken Sewell, but when you look at it, when Burrow got injured, it came in through the inside gap. It came off a defensive tackle, defensive end looping inside. So they need to fix their interior line because that's where he got injured from. Because it's easier to avoid pressure off the edge than it is from the inside.
I mean,
So
the bigger hitters play on the edge, however.
yes,
And Sewell is
but-
very, very good at getting to the second level. If you've watched Lions games, he was really good at like week 1, especially. He was really good against Nick Bosa, and he was really good against Fred Warner.
Slater.
Who?
We ain't talking about that, Ray.
Slater.
Oh, are we talking
Carrying
about
on.
the
About
Chargers
that.
right now?
All right. Moving on. Ravens. I put all IR team.
Yeah, they're
that-
this year's 49ers. And
Yeah,
except for better, they're a better team because they have a better
they
quarterback.
scare me. I mean, it's very interesting that they were still able to beat the Chiefs. I mean, bravo to them. But God, man, this season could really go drastically really soon here for them.
You saw how the
Mhm.
Niners did it last year, and they had like their 3rd stringers by like week 8.
Mm-hmm. You know,
Yeah.
it'll be interesting. It would
Just-
blow for them to miss playoffs like that, but
Yeah.
If the Ravens do miss the playoffs, it may actually be best for them because they can draft higher. But they are also a team that can still make the playoffs even with all their injuries.
I just want
They're
to
a
say,
team that should be competitive.
I had the Ravens missing the playoffs. I think I was the only reason the Ravens missing the playoffs, and y'all laughed at me. I know circumstances are different, but
They just beat the Chiefs. You can't be taking victory laps already, James.
All
I'm
right.
sorry.
He
Right,
can't take victory laps because his ankle sprained.
Right, for the Steelers, I wish I had a soundboard because I put, oh brother, this guy stinks for Big Ben. That
Yeah,
offense looks terrible.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was not good. The offense, I mean, Big Ben was bad, and that O-line we all know is very bad.
It's the worst unit in the league, and I said that. Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I think Big Ben-
Najee. Sorry.
I think Big Ben might retire by week 8. We were at this rate. Like
Him and Urban Meyer off to the
up to USC, I'll make Ben be the OC or the quarterback coach. Or like
Yeah, I mean, credit to Najee. He had a few good plays, but other than that, it's not very bright there. Their defense really gonna have to carry Broncos style.
The man took Abraham's soul with that stiff arm.
Yeah, that was a beautiful stiff
gross
arm.
stiff arm.
Abraham's soul left his body.
And he's a good hitting safety too, one of the hardest hitting in the league.
That's what I've said. You
I
literally almost
know.
quoted me directly word for word.
who
Uh-huh.
has the AFC East?
Zach.
Oh, is that me? I thought I had South, but I guess I have East.
Oh, well, this is
Oh,
Oh yeah,
awkward.
I do
My
have
God.
East. That's right. I wrote
Did
down
you
the
do
wrong thing.
AFC
Okay,
South?
I don't worry. I can set up questions really fast here. So for Bills,
or we can move
um,
on to the South and then come back.
no. Bills, I have O-line question mark because we saw that their O-line was really bad against the Steelers, and then this last week it looked pretty solid.
I'll give credit to the Steelers. They have a really great front seven, but
Very
the
good.
Bills O-line, like it's not. I'm not like too concerned about it, but I'm not like
I'm not concerned, but I'm not convinced.
Yeah.
All right. Who's the next team you got here, Zach?
So for the Jets, I have Zach Wilson, the next Sam Darnold.
I feel bad because I like Zach Wilson still. I don't mind him. I thought he was really good against the Panthers. Surely they lost, but
I didn't think he
plays
was
a
really
good-
good.
no, I mean he wasn't really good. No default, but he's not bad. He's not
4
that bad.
interceptions.
It was 4 picks. Yeah.
4.
How many weren't like 2 or 3
No,
of them
no.
tipped?
One of them was a drop pass by Corey Davis, and you can
Yeah.
blame Corey Davis for that. But 3 of them were some of the dumbest passes. One of them
Yeah,
literally looked like it
one
was
of
a
them to
punt
JC Jackson was terrible.
No, I wasn't even thinking about that one. I was thinking about the one from McForty, which looked like a punt. He just threw it up, and McForty was just standing there for like 5 seconds with his arms out, just waiting for the ball to drop in his arms. It was ridiculous.
So there's a picture online of Zach Wilson, and basically he has one lineman's coming right in the middle. There's no blockers in front of him. Other 2 linemen are holding and then holding. The other 2 linemen are blocking each other. Like the Jets are blocking each other.
I saw that. No, it's a TikTok. It's a little
Yeah.
absolutely
And then
roasting the
throws it
Jets.
up the middle straight to I think it was McCourty.
Yeah, no, I forget who it was, but yeah, that was the definition of the Jets.
Yeah, like
Yep.
I mean, like I like Zach Wilson a little bit, but I wouldn't blame him for all those picks. Like that O line needs help. Like Becton gone is a huge loss.
Mm-hmm.
But they
That
drafted
thing-
Barrett Tucker. Like they've been kind of starting to invest into the O line.
They have, but also when you lose half your investment, you're already fucked.
I'm aware.
I'm just saying.
And to his credit, also the Patriots are very known for messing with rookie QBs.
Yeah,
Yeah, but some
yeah,
of
their
those
specialty.
passes weren't even messing with the rookie. That
No,
was just
but I mean,
him being stupid.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
And I'm just saying, putting Becton on your O line is like putting an Ford F-150 right there. It's the same thing.
Yeah, Pete Carroll, like he had a man crush on him when we played the Jets last year.
Because he's better than any left tackle you guys got.
Who's our next team?
Patriots. I wrote Mac Jones QB1.
He's very accurate.
He's accurate
No.
on 3-yard touchdowns.
Yeah,
That's what Brady was.
I'm not sold
Well,
on Mac
you're not
Jones
wrong.
yet.
I'm not either. I don't love him at all.
He's looked like the best QB of the class, though, and that's what my point is. Right now, like Trevor Lawrence looks bad, Fields didn't look great, Zach Wilson looks bad. Mac Jones has looked average. I mean, an average as a rookie QB is really hard to come by.
Lawrence has a bad coach. Like, I mean,
Yeah, I guess Urban Meyer is very
I'm
good.
going to say Urban Meyer. Like, we'll get to. I think whoever the Jags probably has
Luke.
something for that,
Yeah.
so I'll save it. But yeah, I'm not sold on Mac Jones just yet. Give me like 2 or 3 more weeks, and I'll have probably a clearer answer.
I'll have to really watch one of their games, but I mean everything that I've seen, I don't love him.
Yeah.
At all.
And then the Dolphins are next.
Miami. It's more of a statement, but it's is this close to a playoff team? I mean, what we saw there in week 2. I know
That was atrocious. Dude, I don't even care if Jacoby Brissett had to come into the game, scoring 0 points.
Not even a field goal.
Not even
a field
you
goal,
couldn't
yeah.
even get a field goal managed.
Yeah,
like,
that-
come on.
That really concerns me. Like how they could you getting shut out in the NFL is like an anomaly. Like it never happens. Like it's a rare occurrence.
Yeah.
It's like an eclipse.
Or it's like
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, I think
and
that's
I mean
the perfect analogy.
it's a statement that they got 0 points. They got 35 put against them, and Josh Allen was not that good.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, I know Flores is going to put a foot up everybody's ass to work their ass off.
absolutely.
Like, I think they'll bounce back. I have them in the playoffs, but if I don't like Jacoby Brissett at all, but I think if Tua can come back, then I think it's a fringe playoff team.
Good take. Okay,
Uh,
so
All right, I
AFC
have AFC South because I remember him saying I'm next. So my first one is on the Titans, and it is, can that offense carry that defense? I would say yes. I would say it was a very good example the other day that it can happen. It's a very good example of that. Hey guys, Derrick Henry is
Trey
still very
Flowers.
good at football. By the way, that Julio touchdown was a touchdown.
No, his heel was out. His heel
No.
was out.
Since when do we care? All he needed was a toe tap.
His heel was out. Don't
He-
care.
It was a
Okay.
touchdown. Either way, Tannehill and Julio looked really good. Derrick Henry was very good. It was weird that they actually didn't use AJ Brown that much that game.
They did. He had a ton of targets.
He had a ton of targets, but yeah, I mean they did. But also Julio had like 4 receptions for over 100 in like the first half. It was
Yeah.
nice.
yeah.
It wasn't nice, Luke. Actually, it was
you're right.
terrible.
So to that question, I'm gonna say it depends on the week.
Yeah.
Because you saw against the Cardinals that offense could not carry that defense. But like, I mean, I'll depend on the week because like I think it's up and down the Titans defense, and it's bad, but like some weeks it does better than
It's bad, but I think they're gonna have like one of those things where like some guys just like show up. Like I think Kevin Byard's gonna do pretty good. I think Farley will kind of come into a good role too. Their defense not great, but I think they'll be able to manage.
All right. Who is next?
I still have 3 more teams. So
Well, I meant like what's the next?
oh,
team?
I have the Colts. Sorry. Next would be with the Colts is what do you do about Wentz's ankle injuries in this 0-2 start?
I want to start. How do you sprain both ankles?
Both your ankles, both of them.
Like, I mean, I sprained the
Both
one
of
with
them.
queso, but like 2?
It honestly takes effort to do that.
How do you walk? Like how?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like, what is the panic index for the Colts here? Because now they have a divisional matchup against the Titans, who just had a good game against the Seahawks or whatever you might want to call that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, especially if they go 0-3, and to the Colts' credit, they have a very hard schedule, and I think they're still a decent team, but Wentz is already injured, man. He's already been injured like 3 different times.
But that's good for the Colts, though.
I'm taking
It
my
is.
time with the Wentz.
It's
injury.
good and
I'm
it's
taking
bad
as
because
much
they're
time
gonna
as
miss
humanly
playoffs.
possible. Yeah,
But it's
I'm
good
taking it
because
as
they
long
don't
as
give up their
possible.
first round pick.
Yeah.
It's
Listen,
good in that
that's-
sense that they keep
That's
their first.
great that they keep their first round pick, but I'm gonna take playoffs over a first round pick every single last day of the week.
But
Yeah,
Riley,
but I'd rather take
Riley,
my
correct
You
me
first
if
round
I'm
still
wrong.
get a
pick
second
versus-
round pick, bro.
Riley, correct me if
You're
I'm
okay.
wrong. You said Wentz is going to bounce back, and you had the Colts at 13-4.
I
You
have,
did
and
say-
I have
you
stated
did say that. We have audio of it.
Yeah, you did have them making the playoffs and losing their first round pick. Listen, man, first round picks are great, but they have a good overall team. They have a really good defense. Their line is fantastic. Jonathan Taylor's great. Obviously, he could use a wide
Top
receiver,
5
but
linebacker.
yeah, I mean, they could use a wide receiver, no doubt, in a QB. But I mean, they're probably really close to a playoff team, and having an 0-2 start, maybe going to 0-3. That's scary, man.
Playing the Seahawks
The
and
Colts
the
can
Rams,
afford to lose
and-
2 more teams. So 2 more games.
Playing the Seahawks and the Rams out the stretch is not a great start. Like
No, it is not. Listen,
like-
like we all said it. They have a very hard schedule.
Yeah.
A very, very hard
I
schedule.
think I have them starting 0-4, and then they have them going like 9-8. Because like
I thought I had them 0-6 at the start. And I felt bad when I was doing it.
and then ESPN had the Colts at 8-0 at the start, which I'm like, what?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Next is Jags. And my question, obviously alluded to a little bit, is going to be: is it T-Law or Urban Meyer? Because we can all come to a consensus here and agree it is Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
But T-Law also, like, I know I was with my buddy Austin watching Red Zone, and a lot of the clips, like, T-Law just doesn't look like he has that arm power. He throws a lot of passes, and it looks like he's loading up and just hucking them, but it's just like a bird, and I'm like, what is happening? Maybe it was just the clips I was watching, but I didn't think he just looked fantastic. And obviously, Urban Meyer, not the guy. He's not that guy. Not that guy.
I think
They're not that guy.
Urban's gonna quit by week 9. I'm calling it.
Welcome to USC, Urban Meyer. Actually, I think he'll probably retire for good.
Yeah, it's bad news bears there with Urban Meyer. He's gonna be out very soon.
And like Urban Meyer's known as the quitter, and already
Yeah.
Jacksonville players are coming out saying Urban Myers fucking sucks. Like he's they're already saying how like bad, like you can't motivate guys. Like college to the NFL is a very like difficult transition for
They
most.
even struggled.
For most. Like you look at Chip Kelly when he came from Oregon to Philly. That
Mhm.
first year, he did great, and then
Yeah, my last one is the Texans, and there's not really much to say about them. I mean, bravo to them for playing 2 actual decent games of football. But my question is just, what do you do with Watson here? I mean, you've already set him 2 weeks, and you've already said that you're going to set him the 3rd week.
You sit him the 4th week. You sit him the 5th week until you get a trade. And
My answer here is sit him year round.
Yeah.
Because he signed the year before, like not last year, but the year before, he signed that extension.
He fucked himself.
Like he fucked himself. He wanted out so badly, he wouldn't have signed that extension. And all of a sudden, a year goes by. Oh, it's like now we're suddenly terrible. No, you were terrible the past 2 years.
Yeah.
As well.
Oh,
D-Hop was
now
already
I want
gone
out.
too. Like he signed that deal
like
after D-Hop left. It wasn't before.
Yeah.
And then the reason he's sitting out. First of all, you have the allegations, which I'm not going to get into.
Mhm.
And then you have the you didn't hire the coach that I wanted. Like,
Yeah, and they're actually playing good with the coach.
Like,
well, he's running a similar scheme to what the Ravens are running, and Tyrod Taylor is like a much worse Lamar Jackson in the way that he plays. They can run that scheme.
The more that Watson gets sacked, the more I think weekly his value is going down like slowly.
Yeah,
because not playing football really hurts.
Didn't they say over the offseason like they denied like 3 first-round picks and like 3 decent players?
The Panthers almost traded 3 firsts and McCaffrey for him.
Yeah,
and they said no. They wanted Brian Burns as well. They want the hit. They want
your entire house and all the furniture inside of it if they're going to trade Watson
and the wires.
Not yet. They want everything. It's not going to happen.
And the dog. They want the dog.
They want little fucking Timmy over there, man. They want your son if you got that, dude.
And your Mercedes.
Oh, taking it all.
And your wife.
Had your kids, had your wife.
Anyways.
The AFC West is next.
Okay, cracks knuckles that I can't crack. Let's do this. Chargers, how do we dethrone the Chiefs? I don't know. We obviously Staley has to have a plan. And what I mean dethrone, like even if we like split a game, if we can win one game versus their starters, like how do we have a team that can figure them out? Do we have a coach that can figure them out? And probably you guys are probably gonna say no. That's the only.
I'm gonna say this. People need to realize, and some people like don't realize, divisional games are different than a regular game. They're like, because like bad teams can beat great teams in a divisional matchup. Like it's crazy. So I do see the Chargers.
Yeah, watch the Panthers just do it. So
yeah, I mean, like you can argue the Chiefs could split with the Chiefs because when they play, it's competitive. Like it's close. It's not like a blowout.
A split is very crucial for the Chargers here, but it's going to be mighty difficult.
Well, the Chiefs defense has allowed the most rushing yards.
But
in fact,
there, Riley, the Chargers offense, honestly, I'm not impressed. Like I'm not
impressed. We can move the ball. Like we're 5th for yards in passing and total yards, but it's our red zone scoring that is down. So we can move the ball at will. And we've moved
Am I
the ball
wrong to say I haven't loved
Herbert's like Teddy Bridgewater.
Like no, I think Herbert, in these 2 weeks, Riley, Herbert hasn't impressed me, and the offense has not impressed me. The O-line's better. The O-line's a lot better, but the receivers haven't impressed me, and Herbert has not impressed me. That is just my take.
Okay,
but I do think they will get a split. That is my.
To be fair, we did have 2 touchdowns taken off the board, and
they should have beat the Cowboys in all realism.
Without the penalties, Herbert would have thrown for 487 yards.
I will give you that those touchdowns should have.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
But we have had some breakout players in Asante Samuel Jr. He's looked great. But on to my next team. Okay,
don't mention him.
Keep going.
I don't. Denver. What's the long-term solution at outside linebacker? Because Bradley Chubb hasn't been injured. Like he's torn his ACL. He's injured this year.
Yeah, he's out for the year, I think. No,
not the year, but he's having ankle surgery, so he's out for a bit. He's has an injury history, and Von Miller is getting older. So what's your solution to, your edge? Because the Denver defense,
we build through the draft.
Yeah, build through the
That's-
draft. Fangio can develop.
That's
an
really their
outside
only option. I
linebacker
mean, it's
pretty
kind of
well.
just stake it out with what you got, and I mean, they're a decent drafting team. So
But
Raiders.
I will say this. Sorry, this year's draft class is very weak.
Yeah, for defense, this
for-
is a defensive draft
Yeah, for
class.
defense, it's good, but for offense, like no.
Oh, Matt Corral's a boss. So he's nasty.
All right,
Okay.
Riley, go ahead.
Raiders. How do you maintain success and how do you fix your drafting issues, especially in the early rounds?
Okay,
Because I found this out. This isn't a shot directly. I have found this out. The Raiders director of scouting is the same guy that had a 4th to 5th round grade on Aaron Donald. Fun
I
fact.
saw that too.
Yeah,
video
so-
too today. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a guy who actually had that, Luke. I know you're looking like, wait, what?
Okay.
Someone
I've
has
never
this
heard
dumb.
of that. That's insane.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't even heard of that either. Like, so I'm gonna say this. This is the Raiders. This is the Raider way. The Raiders value traits. They don't value what you did. They value traits.
They're also bad at that.
Yeah. So, like example, and I think
Love the Raiders say it, Luke. Thank you.
This comes from Mark Davis because Mark Davis meddles in ownership in management, and I don't think anyone will deny that because how do you draft like all these guys who are predicted to be like top picks? Sorry, later picks high. Like you look at a couple years ago, they
Burrow.
drafted Pharrell. Yeah, like and that
Great
kid-
run stopper, but
But like
you don't
I mean,
draft a run
it's the
stopper
Raider
that
Raider
high.
way. You can't fix drafting itches because Mark Davis learned from the great Al Davis, who values speed and raw athleticism over everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
It's
I don't
never
know,
getting
like-
fixed until, unfortunately, Mark Davis passes away. That is the only way it will get fixed when they have a new ownership.
yeah, but I don't know. They've messed up their early picks and then hit on their later picks, which is very confusing because most teams it's the opposite.
That's like what the
Because they
Suns-
value traits, and if you
Yeah,
value,
I
and-
give them credit. I think Henry Ruggs is good.
Henry Ruggs is
I'm not
good.
sold on
Like
it.
he's
I
good.
think he's coming into his own, especially this year with.
They
Carr
took him
slinging
over
it.
Jefferson and
No,
Judy-
no disrespect. Yeah, he
Judy
shouldn't have
and
been the pick with the
CD.
guys available, but I don't mind him. I think he's.
and
good.
I think Edwards is actually a better receiver than Ruggs right now.
I was
Ruggs
going to
is-
say that.
Ruggs is like a poor man's Tyreek Hill. He's fast, but
while their O line is really bad, credit to the Raiders. They're all their targets they're hitting, man. Renfro, Edwards, Waller,
Renfro's
and Ruggs.
good.
and Bro,
Renfro's
yeah.
really good.
And that's like the point where he said they hit on the later round picks instead of their early ones.
Right.
And next one, the Chiefs. I don't really know how they have almost no weakness, but I guess if I had to pick one,
The defense.
yeah, your defense. How are you going to improve that? Because you're a Super Bowl team, so you're picking in the later rounds, and with how your team is set up in the cap world, you can't afford to make big splashes in free agency. And I'm pretty sure they have to extend Tyrann, like the Honey Badger.
Mhm.
You can speak, Luke. I see you raising your hand.
Who did the Colts win their Super Bowl against? I forgot.
Bears.
Bears.
The Bears
Yep, they beat
in
the
the
Bears.
Super Bowl.
Yep.
Weird.
The Colts.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
was,
That was Nick
that was
Foles. Sorry, I
that
forgot about
was
that. Well, I mean,
random.
I couldn't. I was trying to relate it to something because the Bears aren't good. The Bears, they couldn't give them much of an offensive fright in that game, if I remember correct. The Buccaneers smoked them.
Oh, you meant Chiefs, not Colts.
Oh yeah, no, I meant Chiefs.
Oh, the
Chiefs.
Chiefs
Sorry,
played
did I say
49ers.
49ers.
You said Colts. You said
Okay.
Colts, and that's why I was like,
Yeah,
where are the
49ers.
Colts coming from here, man?
I'm sorry, that's my fault. I meant Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs.
Practice on you guys to
beat
pull
the
that out, too.
49ers.
I apologize. I meant Chiefs. The Chiefs. You know,
Yeah,
that
they
wasn't
played
a
the
great
49ers.
game, and they kind of had their road to it. But Buccaneers stomped them.
Yeah.
I mean, they limited Mahomes and their two main targets really well. And I think that's what the scary part is for the Chiefs is, I mean, if they go deep again, which they most likely will, and I mean, they play the Rams or the Bucks, I don't think they win.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's like you've got to figure out a way to improve your defense, while maintain your contender status. Because as long as you have Mahomes and Tyreek and Kells, that offense, you're a contender. But you have to try and keep building it because the linebacker core is a major weakness.
Riley, finish up.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's right. That's my AFC.
Going to the NFC. We're gonna start with the NFC North.
I was going to say
Nice
I
meeting
would
you.
start because I was last.
No. I gave the order at the beginning of the
Northeast,
damn show.
Southwest.
I gave.
Okay, so I'm back on it. My first question is for the Lions. It is Jared Goff the guy? I don't mind Jared Goff at all. I think maybe a year or two down the road you can replace him, but I think Anthony Lynn is running surprisingly good scheme to fit Jared Goff and our targets and who we like to use. I think that in truth, I think that Monday game could have gone a lot differently if two things went for them. That rainy fumble, that sucks. That happened. But in a lot of other games, he doesn't fumble there, Goff. He
Yeah.
doesn't have either of those fumbles, and he has an extra drive or two right there. And also that one of there was one, I think it was an Aaron Jones 1-yard run touchdown from a Devontae Adams pass interference flag in the end zone. Terrible call.
Yeah.
Those don't happen. I think that Monday games goes very differently because the Lions were winning at the half and they would have still had a good chunk of momentum. But the question is Goff the guy? And I think he works. I think he works for the scheme. I think he works for a decent chunk of the future. The defense is what's the issue.
I really like Jared Goff. He's one of my favorite QBs. I'll be honest. I think, but I gotta say, I like how he's done with the Lions, but I do think he is a placeholder unless he really shows out.
Well, he needs a lot of things to go for him. We still need a wide receiver. If we get a wide receiver soon, that's like the guy. I think Goff has good potential here.
I think Goff has 2 years to get this right.
He has 2 years to prove it for sure,
Yes.
but I haven't had no issues with him. No issues. I think the worst thing with him is just his arm mechanics, and me and Zach talked about it, is he takes an incredibly long time to throw. But most of the time, that's not an issue, and it's not really going to be an issue because our line,
especially with that Lions O-line, it won't be much of an issue.
Mechanics can be retaught. Look at how Josh Allen did. He reworked his almost entire throwing mechanics, and he had it almost an MVP season last year. So mechanics can be retaught.
I think with Goff, it's he can be the guy. It's all on him right now. And I think
the ball's in his court.
He can be the guy.
If the Lions do get a receiver though, and Goff is struggling still, I do think in 2 years
certainly. I think this offseason they're going to focus a lot on defense, but I think they'll probably get another wide receiver somehow, some way. I think it'll be a lot on Goff still at that time, but shocker. But,
all right. Next team.
Green Bay. Is Aaron Rodgers returning to form, and will they now improve after the win over the Lions?
So this is weird because week 1 and week 2 are like this. They're first of all, terrible week 1 and really good week 2. So I can't really give an answer to that.
It's kind of an odd thing because they played good against the Lions, no disrespect, but I mean, Tay Adams wasn't that big of a factor. He had one really long, deep pass that was a beautiful pass by Aaron Rodgers. But it was all Aaron Jones, and it was all Aaron Jones. It was all a decent chunk of short passes. The Lions had 3 or 4 sacks that game, and they were all really good plays. The score is evident that they won that game. They scored 35 points, right?
Yeah.
They played good. Their defense was not bad, but I think they were still pretty susceptible to that game. And like I said, I think that game could have gone very differently. So I'm a little worried about them. They have a really tough matchup though this week. Next I have the Bears, which is my question, even in light of the recent news, is Fields or Dalton. And bearing his injury, I would still use Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
You guys might find that unpopular, but
obviously
I agree with it.
It's hard because last game, he came into the game after Dalton got injured, and then he got pulled out because Dalton was fine, and then he got back into the game. And there's a lot of scheme fits. You run entirely different schemes for entirely different quarterbacks, but he did not look good, man.
So I have 2 things. So first, I think Fields needs to sit and learn the playbook. I think that's the biggest issue. And I don't think Matt Nagy's system fits Fields as a QB.
No, certainly.
And I think when he's gone next year, and he will be gone, Bears fans, rejoice in the streets. I don't think he lasts this year unless the Bears are going 14-2, which is not happening. I don't know. I would agree with you, Luke. I would play Andy Dalton until
I would play Andy Dalton for at least a few more weeks, as long as he's okay with his injuries.
Yeah.
My last one is the Red Rifle. My last one is the Vikings, and it's kind of a question I asked previously about the Colts, but they're also 0-2, and they lost close games, but they lost to the Bengals in OT, and they lost on a very bad missed kick. And they're clicking on a good chunk of levels. Their defense is doing well. They just got tore up by Kyler Murray, but it's kind of just like it's a panic index right now for them. I don't know who they play this week off the top of my head. Actually, I could check right here. Who do they play?
They're playing
Seahawks.
Seattle. They're playing Seattle
Yeah.
in Minnesota.
I don't think they win that game. So if they go and they drop to, yeah, Jackson will love that. If they go and they drop to 0-3, and Dalvin Cook also was in and out last game, and if he gets hurt again, then there's a very large panic index that's setting in for the Vikings. And I know 0-3 is not the end of the world because you can turn that around, but it's just
It's tough. Yeah. I think the Vikings are finally coming home to a home game. When you go home, you get energy back. So
That's what we said about the Seahawks. And then
listen, it's not all the time, but I think the Vikings should not panic yet. I saw people like calling for Zimmer's head. I'm like, if they fire Zimmer, that'll be the biggest mistake they've ever made.
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
Because Zimmer is going to be he'll be hired just like that.
Yeah. Zimmer's one of the best coaches in the league.
I wouldn't go that far.
He's one of the best defensive minds in football.
Like defensive.
Can you agree with that, Zach?
Yeah, I'd agree with that, but not one of the best coaches
like
in the league.
if Zimmer got fired, he would be a coach next year somewhere else.
Yeah, he's a top
Easily.
20 coach. He's a top 20 coach.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I was
That'd be a
thinking.
perfect fit, actually. I'm not gonna lie.
It would be.
I think so too.
He would do works with Josh Allen.
Right. Is that it?
That is it for the NFC North.
Right.
Can I go? Because I'm running out of time here.
NFC East.
Or not.
Oh, Zach can go ahead. Zach can go ahead if he's on time constraint. Zach, you can go.
Okay, thank you.
Like you can do your pick.
So, we're gonna hurry through these.
So for Rams, I had Ken Stafford keep this level of efficiency up. I think he can. I think
They play in the West.
Yeah, I meant West because
It's
No,
fine.
I think-
Let him go.
Whatever, go.
He had the West.
Okay. I said East. That's why.
Yeah, well, Zach's going because he's on limited time. So keep going, Zach. Come on.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. My bad.
I said Ken Stafford keep this up, and I think he can because he's that scheme looks like it's tailor fit for him. For Cardinals, I wrote can Kyler Murray keep up this extremely volatile style of play?
That's a good question.
I think that's a really good question. I don't honestly know the answer to it. If you guys can help me out here, I'd like to know what you guys think.
I think he can because, well, D Hop played with the mobile quarterback in Watson for a long time, and so he kind of knows where to be for the scramble drill, and his receivers are kind of getting used to that as well. Like, okay, we see him out of the pocket, we just got to get open. We just got to, like, his receivers and teammates are getting used to his like scramble drill style.
I think they're getting really used to his scramble. Yeah, like Riley's saying, and I think just overall,
I
like, he has two guys in D Hop and Run Down Moore that understand it. I think at this point.
And Christian Kirk is no slouch either, so he's
absolutely
got guys that can help him and understand him. And you look at that team, like they understand how Kyler plays, so I think he can.
Yeah, for the Niners, I wrote when will Trey Lance be in? And I think he'll be in eventually at this point in the year. You don't sit the third overall quarterback all season. I'm thinking
when you trade it,
week 10 or so.
I'd say sooner.
Yeah, I think at least near the end of the year. But there has been teams that have had like the first or second overall pick, take it to QB, and sat them the whole year. I'll give a prime example. Bengals sat Carson Palmer his whole rookie season. Mahomes his whole rookie season with the Chiefs.
But Mahomes was top 10, right?
Yeah,
He was 11th, I think. 11th, I think.
Yeah.
I thought it was 10. I could be wrong.
And then for Seahawks, can Russell Wilson play more than 8 games in a season? I think he can. If you guys think that Kyler Murray can, Russell Wilson plays a very similar football.
I don't think Wilson's ever been injured.
No, he's saying because Wilson normally is fantastic his first 8 and then falls off a cliff.
Oh, yeah.
I got what he was saying.
Yeah,
I think he can because, well, he's got a defense now.
And I think him and Lockett are connecting on a whole new level.
Well, and he's got a defense which is actually stepping up and is doing well so that he doesn't have to pass as much. So they can kind of just, throw when needed.
All right.
And the offensive coordinator is fantastic.
Yeah, so he's in his better system and has just a better team around him.
Is that it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. South or East?
I'll go next. So I got the East. So Philly, how do they plan on fixing your defense long term? Because Fletcher Cox is in his 30s. Javon Hargrave is almost 30. Darius Slay is 31, and that's their best corner. And their safeties aren't good. So they've got to fix their stuff long term, and they've got to do it with limited cap, and they've got to do it with just limited resources. And it's going to be interesting on how they do that, because Howie Roseman doesn't draft corners. He doesn't. He likes safeties more than corners, and he prioritizes them. So it's going to be interesting how they fixes that.
Harris is a good safety, but I think that you can't fix your defense mid-season. Like you have to say, like, just next man up, do your job. That's literally the only thing you can do.
Well, I'm taking like a long-term outlook, because I had another
Through the
question.
draft. Like that's the only answer I can really give you.
Yeah, I mean, a
Then-
lot of if it's
free
how you
agency.
fix it long term, it is just a build through the draft, especially for
Then-
the Eagles. That's what they need to do.
Dallas, with so much money wrapped up in Zeke, but Pollard has shown a lot of talent. What do you do? Okay, like what do you do with, because Pollard has proven he's a lead back, and he's probably the best back on that Dallas offense. But you have so much money invested into Zeke. What do you do? And no team's going to take that Zeke contract because he has regressed a lot. So
Yeah, I mean,
it's
it'll be interesting with Zeke. He was okay. He was very, very okay. Would be the words for how he was
Yeah,
the other day. And no,
'cause-
Pollard was sick. So
Pollard ran over the Chargers defense. Zeke didn't. It was all Pollard. And I saw a stat is like Zeke hasn't had a 100-yard game in a while. So it'll be interesting. Then Giants. What's the plan with Barkley?
He's on a
Like-
snap count. He should be on a full count this week.
Okay.
That is what I've been gotten from the Giants.
And would you extend Barkley long term?
Nope.
And does he get a big pay
I
raise?
give him a 1 or 2 year deal.
Because that's another
Barkley
interesting
scares
thing.
me more than
Because
any other running back in the league in where he
More
is
than-
long-term.
Joe Mixon.
No,
Fuck
if Bar-
Joe Mixon, but no, because Barkley is such an elite, like such a high elite talent, but he's still not at 100%. And you have other guys that have come back from the same injury and are at 100%.
And well, I think Barkley's playing on his 5th-year option right now. So this is his final, like, he needs to get paid or needs to get extended. So what's the plan?
or he
And then
walks.
Washington. Tyler Heineke. And we know he's a short-term answer for this season because Fitz is out for a while. What do they plan? What's their plan from going forward? Because is he shown in their eyes that he's a capable starter? I don't know at this point. I know he got his first win. He looked really impressive as a Giants, and he looked really good versus Chargers. But what's the plan with Heineke?
All right. So
Also-
I said this last year. I said Washington should have traded up to like one of the top 10 spots to get a QB. I remember saying that. I think you guys heard me say that throughout the group chat. And I
believe so, yeah.
I had Washington trading up to get Justin Fields, but the Bears did it because I think Washington needs a QB because Dwayne Haskins did not work out. Heineke is not the answer.
He also isn't sponsored by Heineken, which is kind of a crime. But yeah, I don't know. Like, it's the NFC East faces a lot of questions more so than anyone else, long-term wise and the short term. So they're one of the most intriguing divisions because yes, they're the NFC least, but there are not a lot of bad teams here. They're just teams that have built something, but how do they continue building
All right.
is the interesting thing.
All
So
right.
on to the next one because I don't want to keep rambling.
I'm gonna cut you off.
I was just saying I'm done. You didn't
All right.
cut me off.
NFC South, I'm going through this really quickly. Saints is James the answer for a guy that has thrown like 4,000 yards multiple times. He only has about like 300 yards total.
He has 300 yards, but he's also still playing with Marquez Callaway as his number 1 wide receiver.
And Alvin Kamara as number one.
He has Alvin Kamara, and
Target.
Alvin Kamara is sick. But yeah, once he gets Thomas, I think he'll turn it up a little bit. But he might not be the
If
long-term
Thomas
solution.
comes back.
And if Thomas comes back to form.
True.
No, I mean if Thomas is in a quarrel with the Saints right now, but we won't get into that. Bucks, secondary danger. I didn't like how they almost let Atlanta come back.
True. You need to keep your foot on the gas.
And their corners are injured.
For all teams.
Their top 2
Yep.
corners are out long term.
Yeah.
You can't address it. You got to go next man up. Panthers. Can the defense keep this up? Now I have a statistic for you right now from NFL. This is NFL ranks for the Panthers defense. Sacks, they're first. Points per game, they're first. Yards per game, they're first. And YPP, which I'm not sure what that stands for, is first.
Yards per play.
Yards per play, yeah, they're first.
They're first in points per game?
Yards per play. And probably points allowed. So they probably have the least amount of points.
The defense, not the offense.
Okay.
Good, but can I know it's only 2 weeks, and I want to get ahead of myself because I know I've been here before. Can this defense keep it up?
We'll see.
We'll definitely see.
We got a big test tomorrow night or Thursday night. I don't know when it's going to be uploaded.
I'm up on this immediately. So, and then lastly, the Falcons. Is it time to accept defeat and accept you're in a rebuild?
It should be.
Yeah. They should have traded down at the draft last year.
They should have not taken Pitts. They should have got traded down and try to get a QB or just take Fields. I think
Pitts is sweet, but their O-line's terrible. Their defense is terrible, and Matty Ice looks bad.
Like Pitts is a pick if you're going to contend, which you're obviously not. So I'm just Matty Ice also looks washed, but he had 300 yards last game against the Bucs.
He throws the ball.
Yep,
that's it.
All right, now it took a little longer than expected, but those are done.
Woo.
We now have our game picks. Zach had to leave, unfortunately, so he will be getting his picks via text message. I'm going to open this tab here. All right. That's week 2. That is not week 3. That is my bad. I want to update everybody on the leaderboard. Leaderboard is in first place. We have the fans at 20 and 12. In second place, we have myself at 19 and 13. In third place, we have a tie. Luke is at 18 and 14, and Riley's at 18 and 14. Zach,
did I need that week?
Zach,
I need this week.
Zach is tied for fourth. Sorry, with 17 and 15, and the guest has 15 and 17, mostly thanks to Luke's blunder week 1.
And
feels bad because for every guest we have on, they're going to be dragged down by Luke's blunders in week 1.
Our guest this week is my brother. He's a Niners fan, so we'll see how he goes. Thursday night football, Panthers going to the Texans.
I have Panthers.
I got Panthers.
I need a new pen, but I have the Panthers.
You need the Panthers?
Check what
Panthers.
Zach said.
So we have a Panthers fan here. We have a seemingly Eagles fan and a Lions fan.
And a Chargers fan. The Eagles are my second team.
Where's the Chargers fan? I just see a guy with Eagles garb every week.
And everyone took the Panthers, and the fans took the Panthers.
Who invited you, Luke?
You guys.
I didn't really have a choice. It was kind of like gunpoint.
Hey, no fighting in here.
They don't want.
Colts at the Titans.
You won't. Who? Titans.
Yeah, I've got the Titans.
I also
Colts
have the Titans. I gotta find. Zach sent me a picture. He didn't just put words. He sent pictures, so it's. He also has the Titans. Our fans have Titans, and Dylan picked the Titans.
Very, very creative here, folks. I love the bold picks.
Falcons at the Giants. I think New York's been very unlucky with their first 2 games. I think they get the dub here, though.
I say the Giants, yeah.
I have Giants.
Aside from Gravy Jarrett, the Falcons defense lacks playmakers.
Zach took the Giants. Everyone's taking the Giants. Fans agree, and Dylan agrees.
Very creative. I love the bold picks here, guys.
Listen, they'll come.
Will they though?
Chargers at the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Now
I need this win.
I was gonna say Chargers, but I'm gonna go with the Chiefs.
I have no confidence in the Chargers
Arrowhead,
this week.
I don't see it.
And this is Herbert's first time playing Arrowhead with fans, so it's going to be really rough. Because they're down at Arrowhead, it's
Zach took
rough.
Kansas City. The fans took KC by like 98%. Like I think only 7 people took the Chargers.
Almost
And
like fan base.
Riley
There,
was
I know
not-
somebody was going to say it. Somebody was going to
Riley
say it.
Not one of them.
Somebody was going to say it. We only have 7 fans. Somebody was going to say it. So I beat you to it.
Bengals at the Steelers.
I got the Steelers.
I got Steelers.
Nobody likes the Bungles.
Nope. They did beat the Titans though. Give them credit.
Yeah.
Why'd you
They're
say
not the Titans, I
Picture,
apologize.
Zach, my God.
Vikings.
He did not send me. Oh, he took the Steelers. Sorry, my bad. Our
Okay.
fans took the Steelers, and Dylan took the Bengals.
Oh, now he's
Okay, there we go.
Dylan's feeling gutsy.
Now we got who's going to be the lowest man on the totem pole.
Now we
Good
have
Dylan.
Bears at Browns. I'm going Browns.
Browns.
Yeah. Browns and yeah, I'm going Browns.
Yeah,
Zach has Browns.
everyone took the Browns.
Yeah. Big surprise there.
Next up we have the Ravens at the Lions.
Lions. Wait, sorry. I meant
Ravens.
Ravens. I meant Ravens.
He said Lions. No, he said Lions.
I didn't
meant
write
you
it down
can't-
yet. I didn't
Swear
write
to
it
God, I
down
meant
yet.
Ravens.
I'm going Ravens.
I'm going Ravens.
I panicked. I heard Lions. I was like, Lions, cool.
Zach said Ravens. Sorry. Luke
Oh,
said
Lions.
Ravens. And
Yeah, I heard it.
Dylan said Lions.
Oh, Dylan. You really want to be the low man on the totem pole?
Saints at Patriots.
I got the New England Patriots.
I have the Saints.
Oh, now Luke's feeling gutsy.
I also have the Saints.
Oh, Riley's feeling gutsy. Zach
Mac
has
Jones.
New England.
Zach has New England.
Mhm.
Dylan
Mac Jones
has
is gonna tear it up.
Dylan has New England. This vote was so close that I had to wait like literally like minutes to see who's gonna vote next. By one vote, it's the Saints for the fans.
There you go.
Um,
Three.
Cardinals at Jags. I think this is easy Cardinals dub.
Yep.
Yeah,
Did we all take it?
yeah. Chandler Jones is gonna crush.
I think
Trevor Lawrence.
it doesn't seem like a Zach thing to take.
No, he has cards.
Yeah, I
100%.
figured. Dylan has the cards and the fans have cards. Washington football team at the Bills. Not gonna take the same mistake twice and going Bills.
Yeah, go Bills. Yep.
Yeah, you guys fucked up once.
Okay. You know what? Next
Hold
time
on.
we are not on an episode, we'll roast you 7 times, Luke.
But then no
Dude,
one
I
will.
got crucified on the week 2 episode.
Everyone
Everyone said Bills. Next
Yep.
we have the Jets at the Broncos. I'm going Broncos.
Broncos.
Denver.
Zach has Denver.
Dylan has Denver.
Again, very creative
I'll be
guys.
honestly, a lot of like games that like are like locks almost this week.
Yeah, there's a
Would
decently easy amount of
would be a
games. I
good
think the
time to be
later
a
games
betting
are
man.
actually the closer games this time around.
Would be a good time to be
Miami,
a betting man.
Miami at the Las Vegas Raiders.
Raiders.
I'm
I've
Raiders.
learned to stop betting against
No.
the Raiders.
No Tua. Problem.
And maybe if I endorse the Raiders, they will go downtown. Go down.
Go downtown.
I don't know why I said downtown and the way I said
What's downtown, Riley? Like
that. I don't
Go
know.
Downtown.
Is Luke doing ASMR now?
Going
Yeah,
downtown.
Luke, you had the Raiders, right?
Raiders. Zach has Raiders too.
Everyone has the Raiders.
Yeah, ASMR Luke has me got chills.
Seahawks at the Vikings.
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
I'm going Vikings.
Zach has Seahawks. Big shock.
Yeah.
Our fans have Seahawks, and Dylan has the Vikings.
Of course he does. Dylan's feeling
The
big
7 yay
gutsy.
bros want to lose.
Apparently James
And
requires an
now
L in
the
his
game
name.
that should be the Sunday night game, in my opinion, Buccaneers at the Rams. I'm going with the Rams.
Who did I pick? Where is it? Did
I
forget
have
that?
the Buccaneers.
I got the Bucks. Yep.
Zach has the Bucks.
Yep. And he ain't giving no fucks.
Our fans have the Bucks and Dylan has the Rams.
78 boys really want to lose.
Sunday
Yeah.
night football, the Packers at the Niners.
I have
Pack.
the Packers.
The cheeseheads will prevail.
Zach and I think, have the exact same predictions. Like, I think literally
I'm going Packers.
person for
Do you
person,
guys-
Zach and I have the same predictions. He has the
Do
Packers.
you guys share a brain? You and Zach?
I
Luke?
don't know what's happening this week. Either we all suck or we both suck and we both are sick.
The fans have the Niners
Wow.
barely by like
Double
5
fans.
votes, and Dylan has the Niners because he's a homer.
We love you, fans. Ignore Luke. He doesn't speak for us.
I hate you. We hate
Eagles
fans.
at Cowboys, Monday Night Football.
Yes, after all these late games, this is the Monday Night Football game that I wanted. The Eagles and the Cowboys. Who would have
Bird
thought?
Gang. Fly, Eagles, fly.
One Eagles, Riley.
Yes.
I have Cowboys.
I also have the Cowboys. I want to say Eagles, but I'm gonna go Cowboys. Like there's no way. Zach
Bird Gang.
has the Cowboys or the Eagles.
Is it in Philly?
I'm trying to find this and I don't see this one.
It's in Dallas.
I was gonna say if it's in Philly and they're playing some Meek Mill, it's Philly, but it's in Dallas.
I don't know who he has. I don't think he sent that one. I don't see it.
I think Zach would choose the Cowboys. I think he would
Most
choose
likely
Dak.
would.
Well,
No,
then
I don't.
I'll message him. And yeah,
You guys will know
um,
eventually which one he picked.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll put him as Cowboys for now because I think that's who he's gonna take. I think. Everyone has a Cowboy except for Riley.
Yep.
Yeah, and this has been a lengthy episode of the Leblock Cast, an episode that once again we thought would be done an hour ago, but we lost track of time. I want
Like
to thank
normal.
everybody for coming on. I want to thank our not here guest Zach for coming on. I want to thank Luke once again
Go.
for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Riley, the sponsor.
Oh, hold my beer hot sauce. If you want good fresh peppers from farm to table, go on Instagram, 807 Hot Greens or whatever. Hold my beer hot sauce. Yeah, check it out on Instagram.
They have no website.
It's in the process. I'm gonna ask him. Talk to him.
Once again, this is a little block cast. And if we can stop by, should be having more football very soon and more hockey very soon. Hockey season is just around the corner, everybody. And I know
Go.
we cannot wait. We now leave you today with Burn the House Down by AJR. Thanks for watching.
Love AJR.